Welcome back to a brand new PTCG live video. Today I'll be showcasing Alakazam EX with the newly released set Journey Together. So with that being said, let's get into the deck list. Let's see which new cards we'll be running. So we do run the 4 copies of the Abra, the 1 Kadabra, as well as the 2 copies of Alakazam EX. And we do have 2 pretty good attacks. The Mind Jack, we can do 90 base damage and then 30 more damage for each one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. As well as the Dimensional Hand, we can do 120 base damage. And we can use this attack even when Alakazam is sitting on your bench. So ideally we do want to put some walls in the active spots. So we do run the 3 copies of the Mimikyu here for that ability Safeguard, where we prevent all damage done to this Pokemon from your opponent's EXs and Vs. As well as we do have the 1 copy of the Klefki here as an option, also of the ability Mischievous Lock. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, it will shut down the abilities of all basic Pokemon in play for both you and your opponent. And then we do run a 1-1 line of the Rellor and Rabsca for that ability Spherical Shield. It will prevent all damage and effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon done to your benched Pokemon. Then we do run the 1 copy of the new Lillie's Clefairy from Journey Together for that Fairy Zone ability. The weakness of your opponent's Dragon type Pokemon will be now Psychic type, and now Alakazam EX can take some pretty easy one-hit KOs on Dragon Pokemon such as Raging Bolt as well as Dragapult EX. And then lastly, we do have a 2-2 line of the Natu and Xatu for that Clairvoyant Sense ability. Once per turn, we can attach a basic Psychic Energy from our hand to one of our benched Pokemon and then draw 2 cards for this. And then moving on to the trainer cards, for our stadium cards, we do run the 3 copies of the Pokemon League Headquarters, where attacks used by each basic Pokemon in play for both you and your opponent will cost an extra colorless energy. And then for our supporter cards, we do run the 2 copies of Arven, where you can search out your deck for an item card and a tool card. The 1 copy of Boss's Orders for gusting up one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. The 4 copies of Iono for draw support as well as hand disruption. And then lastly, we do have the 3 copies of Professor's Research for some additional draw support. And then for our tool cards, we have the Ace Spec Maximum Belt, where we can do an extra 50 more damage to your opponent's active EX. As well as we do have the 2 copies of the TM Evolution, where you can quickly evolve up 2 Pokemon in just 1 turn. And then lastly, for the energy cards, we got the 7 basic Psychic Energies. So those are all the cards in this deck that I want to talk about. And let's see how it'll do in the matches. And they have Let's Go First, which is really not the most ideal for us. Definitely wanted to go second. Got a mulligan. Okay, looks like I'm gonna be Raging Bolt. And let's put out League. No, we might want to save actually that for later. Because I can't use the Bellowing Thunder. We'll only just slow them down with the Burst Roar, but... we definitely wanted to use that TM Evolution going second, so... see, there's the Ogre Ponds. And they play Arven, no Professor Sada, probably because they don't have any energies in discard. Nest Ball and Capsule. They're probably going to get Squawk here. No, they get another Ogre Pond. Okay, looks like not much. They're probably just gonna go for the Burst Roar, I guess. No, they don't even go for the Burst Roar. Yeah, let's research. Wow, we don't get the evolution TM. I don't know, should we go into Klefki here? Maybe let's go into Klefki, try to slow them down. Because then their Ogre Pawns won't be able to use a Teal Dance, which is basically one of the main ways they get energies into play. I was really hoping we would get the TM evolution. That's why I didn't put the league headquarters out, because if we did, we would need 2 energies just to use that. And it looks like they're gonna knock us out. That Klefki really didn't buy us that much time. See, if we get an energy card, we can use Arven, I guess. If not... yeah, that's so bad. I'm gonna go for Iono, I think. Okay, well, let's see if we can hold out one more turn here. Hopefully they don't gust us up. They get Hoot. So they got the 2 Ogre Pawns, the Hoot. Yeah, there's a Sada. They really have no way of dealing with our Mimikyu. Canceling Cologne has rotated out. They really have no choice but to gust us just to knock something out. They attach the energy to the Hoot, which... I don't know, that doesn't really make too much sense. Yeah, they just pass. They don't even go for the Burst Roar. Night Stretcher. Yeah, let's go for the Iono here. Hopefully we get an energy card or Earthen Vessel. And again, it's... okay, we do. Let's get the Xatu here that we really need. Oh wow, the other one was prized. Yeah, let's go for the 340. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're just going to concede soon. Let me pick up. Yeah, there's the Arven and the Xatu. Yep, they go into Ogre Pond. Heal Dance, okay, yeah. They're having some pretty bad luck here. I don't know. Just one Raging Bolt. Okay, they get Noctowl down. So they can search out those 2 trainer cards. I don't know, I feel like one of them will have to be a supporter card. No, they get double item cards. Super Rod and Nest Ball. So probably Pheasantipede. No, they get Raging Bolt. See, they play Crispin. I'm guessing it's gonna be for the lightning and the fighting maybe that they need for Raging Bolt. No, it looks like they got a grass. Fighting on the Noctowl. So they're gonna go for the Speed Wing. Yeah, it's not enough to knock us up, but pretty bad. And the Earthen Vessel. Hopefully we can dig up 8 bosses' orders here to get lightning and fighting. Yeah, but just one boss in the deck, so not too great. This Night Stretcher. Alakazam back. Yeah, let's get rid of Team Evolution. Just so that we don't have to Ultra Ball it away, we can just get rid of it by attaching. See what we get, Abra. Yeah, Raging Bolt definitely doesn't stand a chance here. Yeah. Super Rod. That's the one that they got last turn, I believe. Yeah, they get the 2 grass, 1 lightning back into their deck, and... Okay, they get Sada. 200, can't attack next turn, okay. Yeah, they just concede here. Okay, all we get is Natu here. Not too ideal. See, they got Mimikyu sleeves. Looks like this could be some kind of a control deck. They got Klefki. My other guess would be Gardevoir, but maybe not. Yeah, that's a bad sign. If you're using Ultra Ball on your starting hand, Vibrava and Dark Energy, so it looks like there's gonna be Flygon EX. Could be the item lock deck list. Yeah, they're definitely item lock Tyranitar. Yeah, honestly, there's really nothing worth getting actually the Nest Ball. I don't know, let's just go for 30 damage or possibly 30 damage. 3 heads in a row. I know, this is not really the most amazing start because what we were really looking for was a Arven TM evolution. They use Iono. I was afraid of that. Okay, at least we get research, but I don't want to use those 2 Night Stretchers. Green Tree. That definitely helps us out. Let's see, will they be able to item lock us? No, they're not even able to retreat out here. Energy Retrieval. Let's use Grain Tree. Get Alakazam down. Let's put out League Headquarters. Go for the Iono. I didn't really want to use Research, we'd lose 2 pretty good item cards. Yeah, let's get the Xatu. Okay, so we do take the first prize of the game. When you pick up Mimikyu, pretty useless honestly for this matchup. Because they got Tyranitar, they have no EXs probably, or if they do, yeah, they're the Flygons that are never going to be an active spot. Okay, that was a pretty lucky Iono for them. They got to evolve up 2 Pokemon, and they got Arven with Earthen Vessel and TM Evolution. Counter Catcher, and they go for the 300. Yeah, we really shouldn't have used that Iono. That was way too lucky for them. Another Arven, back-to-back Arven. See, Air Balloon. I don't know why they put Air Balloon. They don't have a 4 retreat cost. Oh no, it's for stage 2. Okay, never mind. They go for the Reversing Storm. Wow, that was so bad. Let's just give up. I feel like ideally we do want to go maybe second, I would say. They have us go first. Yeah, I don't know how well that's gonna work out. Let's put the Mimikyu in front. Okay, so that was a good call. Let's put Abra, Natu on the bench. And I feel like we might just Ultra Ball whatever we top deck in the Xatu for the Alakazam. And then research. Let's see, they use Pokegear. I think they picked up one Sadum. Yeah, they did pick up a Sadum. So let's see if the Lillie's Clefairy helps us out as much as we think it will. Because this is basically the perfect matchup for our Lillie's Clefairy to do some work. Yeah, and it looks like they don't have a attack down. Looks like they're switching out into the Ogerpon. There. And then they retreat out again. They play Sada. Cycling Road. Let's see what does that do again. Once per turn, each player can discard a basic energy from their hand to draw a card. I feel like we also did misplay a little bit by attaching that Psychic Energy too quickly. We should have waited until we had the Xatu down. Say Cycling Road, they draw the card. Another Raging Bolt. Pokegear again, nothing on that one. So that's 3 Pokegears. And then they just go for the Burst Roar, which they do not bench the Fezandipity, they just discard it. It's interesting. Oh wow. We do end up getting the Max Belt here. Yeah, let's just research here. Kind of unfortunate. Yeah, let's get the Lillie's Clefairy. At least it's not prized. That's one good thing. Yeah, let's try Cycling Road here. TM Evolution. Let's end turn. Hopefully they don't gust us or something. That would be just really bad. Let's see, Ultra Ball. And there's no canceling cologne that they can use to just bypass our Mimikyu, so it should be interesting. Okay, looks like no boss at least. They could use Pokemon Catcher, I guess. And they're setting up the Cornerstone Ogre Pond. Looks like another turn and no attack for them. Yeah, wow, they just pass here. Kadabra. I guess let's use the Iono here. That is just so bad. Let's end turn. And we do run all 4 of the rare candies. Yeah, that first turn, I feel like we're paying for it. Teal Dance again. All just because we attached that energy card when we should have waited for the Xatu. The Earthen Vessel, they get rid of their Squawk. see, Cycling Road, they get rid of the lightning. They get the second energy on the Cornerstone Ogre Pond. Yeah, no. Maybe they're just not the greatest Raging Bolt player here, because I feel like Cycling Road is really not the best stadium card. Or I guess it does make sense because Pokestop does rotate out. It is at least rotated out already for the game. Wow, they pass again. That is insane. Oh wow, there's only one rare candy left in the deck. Yeah, let's go for the 340. See what we pick up. Psychic Energy and Iono. Pretty sure they're just gonna concede here. Going to Raging Bolt. Yeah, more that I think about, I feel like Dragon type decks are definitely going to take a backseat in this upcoming rotation. They don't look like they're doing too well here. And they still bench another Raging Bolt. They play Sato, okay, I guess that's why. Look at the fighting. Yeah, and here are the Pokemon catchers, so... Oh wow, and they do get lucky, they do gust up Alakazam here. It's definitely gonna get knocked out. Literally a 50-50 chance, and it works. They get the free gust. Oh well, we can still knock them out with the Lillie's Clefairy fairly easily. While we set up the other Alakazam. Yeah, let's get Ultra Ball. Let's get the Energy Retrieval. No, let's Nest Ball. Do we want? Okay, I don't think we have Pheasantipity. I'm probably not gonna get the Rellor. Let's see what we pick up here. Buddy Poffin and Earthen Vessel. Okay, they go into their Ogre Pond here. It looks like maybe they're just giving up on setting up another Raging Bolt. Because I think they got like most of their Sadas in here. They got 3, I think. 3 Sadas. Yeah, they just concede here. Well, those are all the games. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.